Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lyds, and we're back for some more Thronebreaker, and last time we just barely managed to finish a couple of difficult encounters. Granted, some of that added difficulty was of our own doing, but alas, we are making our way through Angren, and making some progress at that, because now we have, I believe, completed just about every encounter that we intend to complete, at least in the short term. We have a few other, I think these are both options to trade one type of resource for another, but I think that means we are venturing onward to new areas and seeing what else we might run into. I am very intrigued by whatever the heck this thing is, because it looks very strange. Looks like a human's face built into a rock and a circle in a clearing. So I assume there's something there. I don't know if there are other things leading up to it, but I'm thinking that might be the direction we go in here. Otherwise, there's what would seem to be other stuff over here, fortification, and the actual main quest takes us over in that direction there, so that is ultimately, of course, where we're going to be heading. But either way, we're heading south, so we'll see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into here. See, I believe we've already gotten this, right? Yeah. So now, basically, just a little bit further south and then east. I think we've checked. Yeah, that as well. If we go on, this looks like it's kind of a path. Oh, yeah. No, okay. This is the place where we met those druids before, right? For a second, I thought this was the place that I was talking about before, where there seemed to be those oddly shaped stones, which maybe the druids will have something to say about that. That's the lumber camp we were at before, but I think we're looking to go this way. But I suspect, yeah, we're probably going to run into something else before we get there. Like, this looks like a bunch of Nilfgaardians. So, alright. What are they up to? Looks like a battle? Okay. Well, I guess let's hop in. Nilfgaardians doing something over here. False hope. Okay. Nilfgaardians did their best to avoid service in the godforsaken swamps of Angren, whose waters teemed with monstrosities thought only to exist in nightmares. Those who were unsuccessful in their efforts took at least some comfort in the fact that they were located far from the front lines. Many had hoped to survive to the war without encountering a single enemy force. The Nilfgaardians, it seemed, had never been taught that hope is the mother of fools. Okay, it's a standard battle, so best 2 out of 3 in terms of rounds, and no alternate rules doesn't seem, but of course we'll check to see if they have units that start on the board or anything like that, you know, sometimes those things pop up and do affect how we want to approach this. So before we start choosing our cards here, they don't have anything on the board. Damage to enemy by the number of your allied units, cooldown 3. I feel like we've seen this before. That suggests they are going to load up with a bunch of units. We should definitely get rid of Best Boy because he can get summoned out from our deck. Do like to see Isabel, especially in a 3-round match. That is a great opportunity for us to get a ton of damage from her and potentially weaken their leader ability a lot as well. Damage, I think, is going to be very useful, given how that not only prevents them from putting up points, but also weakens their leader ability as well. We did see last time, or I think it was last time, was when we got into a lot of trouble using blood as well as the footmen, which might not be a huge deal in a 1-round match, but in a 3-round match, we are almost certainly going to run out of cards if we do all of those things, so probably means we're going to have to wait to use blood later. And that means round 1 might be a little bit weak here. So we have the slingers, which can help set up Gascon, but don't really want to be playing Gascon in round 1. So, I mean, we could go Tainted Ale plus Infiltrator if they play something big. Alistair's Thunder. I mean, we're going... Do we know who's going first? Not sure if we know who's going first. Yeah, I'm just not loving round 1 here. I'm not even sure we'd have enough time for Tainted Ale to take effect with the cards that we have here. Seems like a bunch of stuff that takes a little too much time to set up, so I think we need to dump one of you. Bomber could be a good early play, but again, it conflicts a bit with the Infiltrator, so I think we still swap out a Slinger, and we're just looking for stuff we can play early. Because round 1 is looking very awkward very awkward at the moment. I mean, we might need to dump Gascon at this rate, because we've gotten rid of so many slingers, and so he's little to no... I mean, he has a little bit of setup, and the infiltrators do help him a bit as well, but it's going to have to be getting rid of one of these guys, I think. Alright, well, in the interest of not using all of our mulligans in round 1, okay, it is probably a good thing that they are starting out. And had I known that in advance, which honestly, I don't even know if there is a way to know in advance for Thronebreaker. It's usually very obvious for multiplayer Gwent, but yeah, now we know that we don't need to be quite as worried about needing some early round setup after turn 1, because we have stuff we can actually interact with here. After 1 turn on turn start, summon a copy of this unit from your deck. Okay, so the more of these they have on the board, the more it will set up their leader ability, understandably, and then they just hit one of the Arbalists for a tiny bit of damage. That wasn't a huge deal, but okay. So, I mean, first turn is still a little bit awkward. We could Meve, Broadsword, and it's 4 damage, plus 4 damage for 8, which is obviously not enough to remove you. Problem is, then, do we use Thunder to destroy you? That's serious overkill. Infiltrator next to you, if we're going to do that, then we don't really want to damage you in the first place. And that also makes leader building much more difficult for us to use. Slinger, we could do. Obviously, we can move you. Can move the Horn, but then we'd have to move one of our other units, which is not ideal. Could move a Footman, but as we were saying before, combining that with Blood, if we're going to use this order ability and negate the damage we deal to ourselves, does put ourselves at risk of running out of cards in round 3. But I think, and not that you're a great target for the Tainted Ale, because they're very well maybe better targets later on, but this is kind of the situation that I was saying before, is we're running out of time, or we're not going to have time to set things up the way we want to. Like, you obviously would be a better target for the Tainted Ale. What's your deal boost up by the number of units on your opponent's hand after 3 turns to turn start? Repeat deployment. What? Okay, well, this would be amazing for Tainted Ale. Oh, how I wish you had played this first. But now that we have you here, I mean, we could put an Infiltrator next to you eventually, I suppose, but we have set this up. And again, not using leader ability deliberately, because we don't really want to hit the card that we're targeting. But yeah, these... oh, gosh. I mean, I think we already lost. Because our hand, like... our hand is just so bad to begin with. We just needed anything at all that was reasonable to play turn 1. So we could have waited on Tainted Ale. I think we have functionally already lost.
Fuck, our ass is moving.
Because this... I mean, I guess leader build... yeah, no. And that might be the only time our opponent has ever played a unit not in the rightmost spot in a row. I don't know if we've ever seen an opponent do that before. Wow. Okay, let's try that one again. Just about everything that could have gone wrong did. I know it didn't seem like much at the beginning, perhaps, but it was very clear to me that everything was only going to get worse from there on out. It was just domino effect, getting worse and worse as time went on. So having something like Gabor, which if our opponent plays first, which we probably still would like, but we can at least go in there, immediately destroy it with Gabor. Don't need to worry about, do we have enough targets for us to use Slinger on? Ultimately, that probably still would have been the best first turn play, and just deal with the short-term suboptimal play in order to get the much bigger long-term play. I mean, the Infiltrator looks pretty clear that can be a solid play for us. We just didn't quite get the timing right, as we were saying. Alchemist. Also some potential here. Gascon, again, is questionable round 1. So I think we dump you. Barnabas is something we'd like to save until there are a bunch of units on the board, which we know they can do. But longer we wait, the better in all likelihood. Again, playing stuff early is sort of the question we have here. So I think it's Gabor turn 1, 2, 3, and then from there on out, might be late enough we could use Barnabas, Alchemist once we get the Infiltrator back. Stuff like that. Bomber, good in a long round, yes, but again, there's that question of, can we still make it work with the Infiltrator? I suppose we could use this in whatever row we do not play the Infiltrator. I think we can make this work, but it's still not the easiest thing. Okay, so this is the world's most obvious Gabor target. I mean, technically, even he has overkill damage, doesn't he? Yeah. But I think we do that nonetheless.
For you, pal, anything.
Really? I don't know if we've seen this before. We are forced to damage our own units? Apparently we are forced to damage our own units. I did not know that. I don't think we've seen that before. Save leader ability, of course, as we didn't have anything else to go after. Now, this is the big difference. Not only did we prevent them from continuing to spawn a bunch of Manatee divisions in for the rest of the round, now we have waited for them to get spotter on the board, which means we can use this as the recipient of Tainted Ale. Although there's still that question of, are they going to get clever and put something else there once we try to sneak in our Infiltrator, which would be unfortunate, obviously, although we could conversely go Alzur's Thunder plus leader ability. This is kinda still overkill just because we're not getting any value out of the adjacent unit damage, but that's 10. You're functionally a 17, right? With the armor. So that's 4 plus an extra 8. Or rather, 4 plus 4 for a total of 8. So leader ability plus Alzur's Thunder is 18 damage, so it is enough to destroy spotter. So we could just get rid of you altogether. It does seem like that would be a great target for Tainted Ale, but we could potentially try to save that for a later round. What's more valuable? Prioritizing an optimal Alzur's Thunder or an optimal Tainted Ale? I think Tainted Ale might be bigger, assuming that we can combine it with Infiltrator later on, so I guess we'll still do this. There we go. Ooh, another Magnet Vision. Yikes. Okay, that would have been a very nice thing to target as well, of course. Yeah. So, in which case, what would we like to go with here? I mean, we are still in the lead. Oh, we at the very least do need to play one more card. Would like the round to go at least a little bit longer than even that, though. So yeah, you're worth a ton of value if you don't get answered immediately. We don't really have a way to answer you immediately. Unless Barnabas happens to give us, what was it, Becker's Dark Mirror? Gives us 15 damage to the highest unit and boosts the lowest unit by 15. You would be the highest unit. So, it's a pretty low probability of that gamble paying off, but there are enough units on the board, at least on our side, that I think we can perhaps take our chances on Barnabas and see what we get. Let's see.
Turnips back for an encore.
Obviously not what we were looking for. I think it might need to be Mandrake. That is also something that can thin cards out from our deck, so need to be careful about that. It's only bronze units? Okay, well, we shall see what happens. We're sending a row on fire. We'll do it there. Clearly, that is preferable row. And then, okay, I was hoping we would get Magnet Vision because we don't even need to have copies of it on our side, do we? Or in our deck. Summon a copy of this. Oh, no, we do. I thought it created a copy of itself out of nothing. But no, it doesn't help us at all in that case, because we don't have any to get out from here. But it does. I guess that means there's only a finite number that they can summon out from their deck, so stealing one does functionally either reduce the effectiveness of this card or make it less likely that they have Magnet Divisions that they can use in later rounds, so I guess it's still not terrible. There is at least one more, and they'll pass. Okay, so that's good, though, because that means now that we can win round one here. Alright, and now in this round, this is where basically we made a choice to save Tainted Ale plus the Infiltrators, or at least one Infiltrator. So that's more so what we're going to focus on here. We do have a bunch of Slingers. Technically, we're on, should be 10 cards apiece, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've at least 3 throwaway cards if we're trying to play for the round 3 win. Or we could go for the 2-0 win here and push hard, but I'm not sure I love that idea. Slingers are probably our most disposable card here. Don't really have much to move. Can move the Horn, but Best Boy has the immunity, so can't move him. We are going first after we won round 1. So, yeah, I mean, maybe we just do that. 1, 2, and 3, really? Save all the other stuff for round 3. Basically just dump the weaker things now, and Slingers, I mean, this is obviously not particularly effective Slinger, but it does give us a tiny bit of carryover value.
Off to the front yet again.
If it turns out that we get Gascon later. What's your deal? Resilience? What? That's the last thing I want to see. Strengthen all copies of this unit in hand, deck, and on the battlefield by 2. Talk about carryover value that is exponentially more significant than the, well, more significant, yes. Our carryover value potentially comes from getting Gascon, but we're not even sure we're going to make that happen. Do we have blood? Okay, we should be able to guarantee it in that case. But yeah, that's not good news for us. That is definitely not good news for us. So, I mean, basically, as we were saying, plan is just this. So what we'd like to do is play low-value cards. That's... Wait, does he increase his base power when he does that? What did you eat, first of all? So I think that was a high-value card. I know you can't see me right now, but that was a facepalm. That was the card that we're planning to structure our entire win condition around. Yeah. So, alright. I think when we first got Best Boy, we theorized that there might be some times when the card that he eats might be more valuable to us than the extra points he gets from consuming it. But it never really seemed to be that big of a negative factor. It never really seemed to be something that held us back. We probably just lost the game because of that. So, I mean, now he has 26 points of carryover. There is that aspect to it, yes, but the timing and the card selection could not be much worse. Because not only did he destroy the card that we wanted to build around in round 3, it also means we have one fewer card here in our hand in round 2, so I was gonna throw away another Stray Slinger and try to trade one of our worst cards in round 2 for one of their better cards in round 2, so that we have a higher concentration of our best stuff in round 3. They have a lower concentration of their best stuff in round 3. But, you had other thoughts, didn't ya? You had other thoughts. I mean, now we have no choice but to pass here, really.
Quiet, or the commissar will hear.
More resilience. More resilience. Okay, wow. Wow. Okay, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Also, have they done any damage to us at all? A tiny bit? I don't even remember what they did that dealt damage to us. But Isbel seems like she is going to be very ineffective. Blood is going to give us the option to play 2 out of 5 cards from our deck. And we have, I think these are all fakes. We have the Slinger and we have Gascon. So Blood basically gives us perfect visibility, perfect playability from our deck. So no need to mulligan here, really. Alright, so if you wanna take a positive look on that round 2 there, they got 32 points of carryover. That was a ton. At least we got 26. The cost of gaining that 26 carryover was humongous, and will almost certainly lose us this match. But, you know, it was... RNG do be like that sometimes. Sometimes you just get unlucky. Let's see, but Alchemist... Setting its power equals the unit on its left. So if we put a bomber here, we can potentially get that up to 26 points.
You mad? Don't shake that.
So let's do that. That means we ideally... Ooh. Means we would ideally put the infiltrators in this row so they aren't at risk of getting destroyed, and also the cards are getting boosted based off of are not getting weakened. We're going to want to do this. So there are 2 16s, although that Magni Division is a card that is going to... Well, hold on. They only have 3 cards left in their deck. Only have 3 left in their deck. We did steal one earlier from them, so that's kind of what I was alluding to before. That may not be as threatening as it seemed before. Yeah, they don't have any others. Okay, what do you do? Remind me whenever a unit appears in the range row, strengthen itself by 3. Whenever a unit appears in melee row, boost all units in hand by 1. Okay, so you are a card we definitely like to destroy. Although, if they get a bunch of stuff in the range row, you would get very big, and that could be a half-decent Strays Infiltrator target, but that's kind of remains to be seen. Okay. Oh, right, their leader ability is giving them some damage, so that is making Isabel a little bit stronger. Okay, that's where that setup is coming from. So... I mean, we could... Whenever an enemy unit appears... Oh, whenever an enemy unit appears in the range row. Okay, so we can actually control this. For some reason, I thought it was their units, which we obviously can't control where they play those. But... Okay, so we could deliberately, and I think should deliberately, boost this guy. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then. And then, just some question as to whether we're going to be able to get him bigger than this combo right here. Like, should we use Alchemist to set up a bigger bomber and whatever else we play next to you? Or should we assume you're going to get big enough, then when we put an Infiltrator next to you, the Infiltrator comes back, that becomes our biggest unit? Not sure we're going to have the time to afford that luxury. We have two Alchemists. I think for at least the first one we do this.
Greetings. What is it?
Now you get bigger. What's your deal? Boost adjacent units by 2 if this unit has armor. You do have a lot of armor, but we could potentially move you around with a slinger so that you're just boosting up one of your ally units. So if we do... We don't really want to move stuff out of this row, but we're probably going to have to. Yeah, because that's more... Denying this is more valuable than denying... Or... than optimizing this. So, because this is 33% chance of 2 damage, whereas this is guaranteed 2 points of value on both sides. So, what do we do in that case? I think it is Slinger, and it is moving you, and you should work, right? Then you're not going to have anything on that side of you. Still going to play range row if we can. So it's 1, 2... Deliberately not moving you because I want you to be as big as possible. I guess... Yeah, then it's you. Still going to be 1 on this side, but we can't really stop that. So yeah, again, unfortunately not as many things in the fire row as we'd like to see, but we should be able to, potentially on our next turn, use Slinger to set that up. Actually, how big is Gascon? That might be worth double-checking. How did you... Oh, right, you're getting bigger from that. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna tell you what. I kind of like this guy next to you. Get this as big as possible. If we could put that in between these two, and then that'd be the perfect target for the Infiltrator. It'd also be a great target for the Tainted Ale. But alas, no, we're not allowed to use that card, apparently. Okay, no, not you yet. So, how do we want to build around this? Slinger. We just swap these around again. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. think we kind of have to.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Ugh, Scheiß!
What's your deal? Resilience doesn't matter anymore, but strengthen all copies in other locations as well. Okay. So Isabel should be getting a little bit more significant. We do, of course, need to make sure that we have time for the infiltrators, especially because we're going to be using Northern Wind at some point, and we don't want to risk having to destroy our infiltrators when we do that. So we might need to play infiltrators now.
No time for that.
Again, some questions whether that would have been better. Oh. We can technically still make this bigger. Especially if we were to go for blood on this turn. We do have leader ability back. Let's see, you're lined up at 20, you're lined up at 16. If this unit has armor, okay, we can destroy that armor. I think that is worth doing on both of these. Then we go blood. Yeah, let's do this. Get rid of the armor on... Did this one just have more armor? Pretty sure. Thought both of those had the same amount of armor. They definitely had the same number value, right? This was 16 with 2 armor. Got hit by 4, so it dropped down to 14. This was also 16 with... Alright. Okay then. Alright. Alright, in that case, we're just gonna ignore the fact that, that was not supposed to happen. Okay, so we could either Infiltrator, again, over here, so we get this back on our side of the board a little more quickly, because we don't really want to hit them with the Northern Wind, or we, and that, yeah, that sort of, from a timing standpoint, is nice, or we optimize getting higher value out of this Infiltrator by doing Blood first to play 2 more units in this row, which are going to be a Slinger and Gascon. I mean, I guess we can move you with a Slinger and get rid of your armor that way. I guess we do that. So we do this. Move you, so you won't have armor anymore. Then, from there on out, just don't move you, because you are important. Move you, so we get more in the melee row, and probably same here. Then Gascon should put you over here in case you need to be a target for the Alchemist to boost up. But yeah, now you're going to be pretty big over there, so that's good. When you come back.
Quiet, or the Commissar will hear.
Okay. So now we probably do need this Infiltrator right about now as well, otherwise, again, we're going to run out of time. So I think we do this. Still some questions whether they have enough Darelin soldiers, or Darelin veterans, that they're going to be bigger than this Imperial Brigade, but we have control over the Brigade, whereas we do not over the Darelin veterans, so I think we prioritize this.
Go, hop, hop. Ugh, Scheiß.
Granted, they did do that. Well, it's going to be pretty close. Still going to be pretty close, assuming that this card we play on this turn is going to be in this range row. Okay, we just used that. So I'm just wondering if Isabel's going to be safe here, and I think she will be. So I think we will probably play her. We'll put her right here so that she can become a 28 if we'd like to, or put her here. I think that just gives us more flexibility. Either Isabel becomes a 28, or this Alchemist becomes a 28. Or no, that's 20, not 28. We're gonna have a little more movement, and a little more movement here, I guess, but yeah, this is gonna be a little bit better either way.
We could solve this some other way.
Okay, this is pretty close. Oh, and that's a high value play right there. Unfortunately, Isabel, I mean, she's decent, but she's not huge. Not going to get leader ability back quickly enough to use that again, unfortunately. Alchemist here, we were saying, on Isabel, is the biggest play. So I think we probably do that now. Because you're not going to get any bigger. Gascon will get bigger from this, but you're still not going to be as good of a deal as this is. So I think we go this route.
If anyone asks, you've not seen me.
And I guess do that. Do we wait on Isabel? She shouldn't be answered. Now that she's on 28 points, should be hard for them to answer her. And see what this is. Oh, that's not good. I think they won. I think that's too big for us to match. I think that's too big for us to match. Go Isabel. Actually got rid of a card, which we did not want to see, because that means less value on Northern Wind. I don't think we got it. I don't think we got it. Alright. Well, I mean, if I'm trying to be as objective as possible, we did what we could. But there were several circumstances in which the game said, you know what? No thank you. So, I mean, we could give this another shot. I did press the restart button. I'm not sure what our prospects are here, in truth, because, yes, we got unbelievably unlucky. As I said, basically, as soon as Best Boy ate our Tainted Ale, we were doomed to lose that match. Can we still pull this off? I am not sure. Like, we might just need to back out and try a different encounter for the time being and see if we can power up before coming back to this one. Yeah, I mean, that's one or two encounters here, or one or two attempts here, where we got seriously slighted with our either RNG, well, yeah, starting hand, or the random card getting consumed by you. So, I think it is best if we just duck out of this one. Let's see. Before we dig in our heels and attempt this 10 times over, I think it might make more sense for us to do a little more exploration in the area, see if there's something else we can do to power ourselves up before we go back into that. If everything were to go 100% according to plan, especially now that we have a better sense of what that opponent is trying to do with their deck, we could probably pull it off. But, again, just, it was very unpleasant. I did not enjoy that.
Your Majesty, are you well?
Yes. Yes, but the stench.
Okay, I mean, we've definitely heard a lot about sicknesses in this area, I think. So it is a little bit concerning if Meve is getting a cough. I hope it's just the stench. Yeah, okay, there's a puzzle over here. Maybe we check that out. Maybe we check that out and see if we can get something decent from that. In addition to other loots here. Because seems like we might need, a little boost. Is this the puzzle? It is, okay. A heavy conscience. Okay, special rules. Shorten battles to just one round. Custom deck. That is nice. Because our deck right now is not great. So, let's see. Have you heard of the monster known to Skelgers as Heim? Yes, I have. It's a powerful demon that feeds on the souls of those who have committed a terrible evil. But who in Meve's unit could have attracted such a vile creature? Who of the Queen's companions was responsible for an act heinous enough to garner the demon's attention? Eliminate the Heim without any allies being killed. Okay, this sounds interesting. Or the Heim from Witcher 3 is, and that quest, multiple quests around it, some of my favorite quests in Witcher 3. Very high on my list, so let's see. I'm excited. Every turn start, play a copy of the last card the opponent played. This unit will always target Meve's leftmost unit. So, this Scytheman is vulnerable. Damage highest unit by 15. Boost lowest by 15. So if we do this... math. You're what, a 19? And you're also a 19? Oh. No, you're a 20. So if we do this, they turn around, do it as well, and then Scytheman is not having a good day. Do this. You're dead. think we might need to do that. It's the only thing I can think of that does not immediately annihilate us. Damage unit by 1 uses ability 8 times. That also kills us. I think this is the only way we don't die. I'm pretty sure this is the only way we don't die. So I think we have to do this first. And it doesn't boost them up at all. Okay, so that's useful. So now what? Now we can survive a Dazbog Runestone. So that's an option. We can just barely survive Alistair's Thunder as well. Yeah. I think we go Alistair's Thunder here. Because then drops both of our cards to 1. Which means that Becker's Dark Mirror becomes a very intriguing option. So I think we do this. Right? They both drop to 1. Now we do Becker's Dark Mirror, because you're going to hit down to a 9, and we're going to get boosted up much higher than that. And then you're going to turn around, do it again. Yeah, I think we just... Becker's Dark Mirror, then next turn might also be Becker's Dark Mirror. Right? Because you're going to hit that, and you're going to boost this. So that should still help us. Oh, but now we hit ourselves if we did this. Ooh. Okay, this might not work. So now doing this damages you, boost... Well, wait. Damages you, boosts you. Hold on. We're gonna be 1 damage shy, aren't we? We do this. I think we're gonna be 1 damage shy here. Because now we have Dazbog Runestone, but you live on 1. And you're going to kill the Scytheman. Close, but not quite. Okay. Okay. We definitely at the beginning right. Definitely at the beginning right. So it has to be this first. Otherwise we just die. And it doesn't do anything to them, so that's nice. Then, what we did, Alistair's Thunder, I think, is the right move. Now the question... Now we have to do Becker's Dark Mirror, though, right? We have to. Otherwise... Is it just a matter of luck? And we just need you to get boosted up? Rather than... Or... I don't remember exactly who got boosted up last time, but... We have to do this. This might be preferable, because now you get boosted up. So now we can do... We can do Dazbog Rune? Wait a second. Wait a second. I think I know how to do it. We hit ourselves with Dazbog Runestone here. That gets us down to... Oh. Hold on. We do this. We weaken you down to 2? Or at least 8. Okay, now I had the mental math worked out, and now I don't. I got distracted thinking about other things and now, or other combinations, and now I've ruined it. But my point was that I wanted, yeah, you do this. Okay, we might still be fine here. Do this, it's not enough to kill us. You are the highest unit, which means when we use Becker's Dark Mirror, you'll get damaged by 15, we'll get boosted by 15. I think we're still fine. Okay. We're fine. We're fine. We got it. We got it. Okay, now this is the kind of thing that I was looking for. Getting a new card, adding, or at least having the option of adding that to our deck, could be just the kind of advantage that we needed in that previous encounter. So let's see what we got here, and also see what these things are all about, because we have a little more monies, and potentially some other stuff as well. Like this report, with a map. Milady, we've searched the enemy camp. The tents are spattered in blood, and shields lie scattered on the grass, but there's no sign of the bodies. We also found a map, tucked inside one of the chests. It appears the Nilfgaardians buried their regimental safe, as if they had expected danger and knew not whether they'd return. Alright, well, show me the map. Okay, bridge, some kind of settlement here. right on the side of the path with the log. I think that'd be pretty easy to locate on our map. I would think we'd be able to figure that one out. Bridge. Log. Fort. Maybe even right there somewhere? I don't know. I mean, we don't have to go check it out right now, but what we should check out right now is definitely that new card. Because I'm hoping that that is a good one. Let's see. Devon of Runestone. Restraint, so we can't target bosses. Spawn 3 copies of a Death Wish unit on the battlefield, then destroy them. Okay, that's interesting. 3 random Death Wish units? How many choices do we get? I mean, in multiplayer Gwent, usually whenever you see that, you have 3 choices. Random choices, but it gives you at least some flexibility there. So basically, you get 3 units on the board that are going to get destroyed, yes, immediately. However, they have other abilities that trigger when they get destroyed, so the value of this card is all depending on how valuable those Death Wish abilities are. So that's an interesting one. I am not sure how good it's going to be, because it feels like there's definitely a lot of variability there, depending on what cards you get. So I'm intrigued, but I'm not necessarily sure that it's going to be always a good choice for us. If we're planning specifically around that one encounter with the Nilfgaardians that we saw, what would we get rid of to make room for it? I mean, the damage is nice. They have a ton of boosting. So again, the Tainted Ale was our best card. I just wanted to play Tainted Ale. We saved Tainted Ale. I just wanted to play it for round 3. Was that so much to ask? Blood is maybe the most obvious card we could swap out. I mean, it potentially is good, especially if we have something that's valuable that we did not get the chance to play in round 3, but I mean, we already have very good consistency because we have 4 of our units starting on the board anyway. So, you know, the chances of us getting stuck without Isabel, for example, are pretty low. I think we should be fine there. It is still getting 2 cards worth of value out of 1 card you're playing from your hand, so it is still a little bit better than most cards in that way. But we'll see. Not sure if that one's going to pay off, but at least, hey, at least we finished that puzzle. We have the option of using that going forward, and we'll see. Maybe with that new card, or maybe we'll explore a little bit more to load up a little bit more on additional cards. We'll have a little more luck against the Nilfgaardians next time round. But I think this is a good place for us to wrap up here, so thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.